SDG number 2 is to end hunger, achieve food security and improved nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Within SDG number 2 are 8 targets, of which this video will focus on target 2.1, which is by 2030 end hunger and ensure access by all people, in particular the poor and people in vulnerable situations, including infants, to safe, nutritious and sufficient food all year round. Target 2.1 flows on from target 1.c of the Millennium Development Goals, which was to halve between 1990 and 2015 the proportion of people who suffer from hunger. The target was met but left 795 million people undernourished, including 90 million children under the age of 5. Within target 2.1 are 2 indicators. Indicator 2.1.1 measures the prevalence of undernourishment. Indicator 2.1.2 measures the prevalence of moderate or severe food insecurity in the population based on the Food Insecurity Experience Scale. Hunger, in the context of sustainable development, is obviously differentiated from the sensation of being less than satiated. In the context we're looking at, it is the global leading cause of death. It is to be unable to meet the essential nutrients humans require to sustain healthful lives over a long period of time. Dismayingly, the global areas most vulnerable to acute hunger are those experiencing wars, pandemics, and extreme weather. Looking closer at the concept of undernourishment underpinning indicator 2.1.1, undernourishment is a diet with insufficient nutrients. By this, we mean calories providing us energy, but also the right biochemical combination to allow for proper metabolism in the form of proteins, carbohydrates, fat, vitamins, and minerals. Tragically, at the most extreme end of undernourishment is starvation. Also worthy of mention is the more specific instance of micronutrient deficiency, whereby an individual is experiencing undernourishment of a particular vitamin or mineral necessary for healthy functioning. Target 2.1 specifically mentions infants, as nutrition during pregnancy can affect the gestating baby for life, highlighting also the importance of breastfeeding for newborns' nutrition. Many of us are familiar with the heart-rending images of starving children displaying the hallmarks of malnutrition in the poorest parts of the world. The medical term marasmus is often characterized by the wasted mass of emaciation for overall energy deficiency. For children no longer nursing with the proteins of breast milk and have instead moved to a diet of starchy carbohydrates with little other nutritional value, we recognize the symptom of the distended abdomens caused by swelling of fluid retention and a liver overwhelmed with fatty deposits. This condition, termed kwashiorkor, is caused by sufficient calories but protein deficiency. Development aid, from the developed countries to the developing world, is a clear remedy to preventing and reducing undernourishment in the form of dietary supplements, food fortification to enrich foods with micronutrients, and other forms of food aid. To meet the definition of undernourishment for the purposes of indicator 2.1.1, using household surveys, we're looking at regularly not having access to food sufficient to provide the energy for a normal, healthy, and active life, given their own dietary energy requirement. Often due to the geographical isolation, hunger acutely affects the most vulnerable regions of the world, represented by the UN's list of least developed countries, landlocked developing countries, and small island developing countries. Food insecurity, the focus of indicator 2.1.2, is the ability of households and individuals to access food. It measures the percentage of individuals in the population who have experienced food insecurity at moderate or severe levels in the period of the SDGs. Its measurement tool, the Food Insecurity Experience Scale, is a survey of 8 questions, with the aim by 2030 to achieve zero hunger as part of SDG number 2, with the aim by 2030 to achieve zero hunger as part of SDG number 2. As of 2020, a tenth of the global population, equivalent to 811 million, experienced hunger and was undernourished. Tragically, the World Food Programme, the food aid branch of the UN, has estimated that due to the effects of COVID-19, the number of people suffering acute hunger may have doubled by the end of 2020. COVID-19 may also have pushed between 83 and 132 million into chronic hunger. Though the trend of hunger experience globally had been steadily decreasing since 2015, when the SDGs were adopted, the UN's agency focused on alleviating hunger and ensuring food security, named the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, has identified the total number of those living in a state of hunger has risen, predominantly in Africa and South America, with the main culprits being climate, conflicts, and recessions. An estimated 2 billion people, or a quarter of the global population, experienced moderate or severe food insecurity in 2019, up several percent since 2015. Much of the increase came from Latin America and the Caribbean, though the largest numbers remained in sub-Saharan Africa.